Hello, and welcome to another episode of Real World Analytics, or What Schools Don't Teach You. This will be the final installment in my Kaggle series, as I've now completed my first ever Kaggle competition, and I've submitted it, got the bloody thing to commit. I'll put a copy of here. It's quite late. I've gotten it running. It works. But I'm going to spend tomorrow kind of looking over it one last time, checking the spelling and these types of things. So this is my first ever submission. It is late, so I'm not going to win. I wasn't exactly planning on winning anyway, and what I've decided to do is I've looked at the number of survey respondents for the Kaggle machine learning survey, taken the number per country, normalized that by the country's population, and then used that as kind of an independent variable in a bunch of analysis. With the data joined to the World Happiness Index, the fraction of people that in a country that responded to the Kaggle survey is correlated to a lot of great things. It's correlated to the economy of the country, the happiness, generosity, life expectancy, etc. And so what I'm trying to make the case for is if we had more data scientists, then the world would be a better place because they're correlated. And as I say in the subtitle, the knowledge that correlation is not the same as causality, but if you just ignore that in a really mathematically inappropriate way, then you can make the recommendation that we should get more people using Kaggle because then people will be happier, people will be richer, people will live longer, people will have greater freedom. All these things are correlated. And I do mean that kind of jokingly. So I have given the tag humor along with apparently 9 other people, as opposed to giving it the tag data visualization where there's another 4,727. I am the 4,728th kernel with data visualization as opposed to the 10th for humor. And so this kind of worries me because I think if you're going to be doing Kaggle challenges or something else that's a little casual, shall we say, you should be able to have a bit of fun with it. So I was challenging myself to make different plots and different types of plots. And so I decided I could make plots like this, because personal freedoms is one of the things mentioned, so I decided to make a plot that emphasizes freedom. And so I can do that. I can do something a little bit different like this one. And then there's your normal high charts with information as in the maps. So when you mouse over, you get the flags, which I still think is kind of neat. But it's not the groundbreaking analysis, the machine learning, everything else, but it is fun. And the people I'm targeting is when people see a graph like this, some of them will think, cute. And others will think something like, well, I can't actually read the information in the chart. That's like, I'm glad you enjoy it, but it's not useful. But then there's a third class of people, and the people that say, how'd you do that? I'm going to go find something that I'm going to make, and I'm going to put crazy backgrounds on my plots. And those are the people that I'm really targeting with my write-up. And I'm trying to put enough little nuggets in there that you will run into managers who say, well, these things are correlated, therefore they're causal. And that if we can increase the number of people using Kaggle, then people will be happier. They don't see the difference. And sometimes if you don't mind the conclusion they're making, you don't want to press that actually those two things don't go together. And so I have some quips like that in there. When I release this tomorrow, I'll put a link in the description below. You can go find it. I do hope you enjoy it. Overall, it was a pretty good experience for me, this Kaggle, not counting the fact that I redid everything twice. There were some bumps getting my submission to commit. Some of the packages weren't working correctly. I wasn't sure where to find some of the data. I had to search around and find out the directory structure because it's easy enough just to download a CSV file and get it running on my machine, but then the directory structure wasn't quite what I was expecting. I found it all in the end, but it took me, 5 or 6 commits? This is 6 versions. I didn't change much other than make the bloody thing work. So there is a little bit of domain-specific skills to get it all working, but it wasn't too bad. Debugging which packages were and weren't working. For me, I couldn't get the data table package to work. That's the datatable.js, not the data.table, different package. So between that and not being able to use Shiny, it kind of hamstrung what I normally do. But I do think it's important to have fun with some of these things. And if I'm only the 10th person marking humor, I really worry that people on Kaggle are taking themselves very seriously. As I said in my advice for a CV video, people are looking for two things. They're looking for the technical ability, and then they're looking for whether or not you're going to fit in the team. And I think if you're not having fun and you're not demonstrating to people that you're able to have fun doing data science, I think you might be selling yourself short, or otherwise you may want to reconsider your tactics. Now, it may be that people are writing with brevity and they're writing loosely and they just don't want to give themselves the humor tag. I don't know. I am tempted to go out and find out what the other 9 people with humor are doing, but otherwise, who knows? So I might do more of these in the future. It was a lot of time, but I think if I do them in the future, it will be based on this. I'm going to post something a little tongue-in-cheek and a little not ironic, but not entirely serious. I certainly don't want to go down the road of the my machine learning is better than yours route, as I described in my first Kaggle video. I will be going back to my coffee series now that this is done. I'll just need a few days to recover and make sure I finish all the points on this. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed following along as I got this Kaggle series set and finally got to my submission. It should be up soon. Thank you.